Kumbaya, my lord. All right, we are back. This is Tips for the Christian Podcast. I am your humble host, Marshall Lewis III. This is your humble host, Minister Marvin Lee Stevenson Jr. This is also your humble host, Elder James Roy Willis III, who we do not call ERW3. We are here. We missed a couple weeks. We're back. We had birthdays. Happy birthday to Elder James. You just had a birthday Wednesday. Happy birthday to me. Had a birthday a couple months ago.
Couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
My days are blending. Forgive me. And happy birthday, Marvin, because he's part of the crew. Anyway, his birthday is nowhere in October. Anyway, yeah, follow us on Instagram at Tips for the Christian Pod __. Follow us on TikTok at Final Call 9. Follow us on YouTube at Tips for the Christian Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the fruits you give. I'm going to read this passage and then we're going to get into this conversation. I can't wait till we get ads because that would be perfect for a commercial to just, flip.
Wouldn't be bad at all.
For somebody who sponsors us, Speed Stick, get it. Anyway, Psalms 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doeth he meditate day and night. Now we want to talk about the fruits you give, but what the Lord was impressed upon my heart as we start to talk about is your fruit is directly connected to your counsel. And so we're going to start with Elder James today, then we'll go to Minister Marvin. How important is counsel?
Counsel is important for two reasons. One is who you trust. Two, counsel reveals all sides, or I'll say it like this: counsel reveals all aspects of your situation. Because there are three of us, I'll give one perspective, he'll give another perspective, and Marvin will give a perspective. So counsel is the broad picture, if you will, which is why it's good to have more than just one friend. I know a lot of people aren't friendly, but the scripture says, blessed is the man that walks in the counsel, that walks not in the counsel of the ungodly. So that means you need to be walking with people who are godly. And if I'm not mistaken, that counsel is COUNCIL, which means it is a group of people. So it is, that's why it can't be just one person. Now, if it was the CON, is it SOUL or no? I'm
CI.
I'm talking about counsel with one person. CONSOUEL. Yeah, SOUEL. That's the one I'm talking about. That's where it's beneficial for one person. But the CIL is where it's a group of people. So the reason why it's important is because there is more than one brain. There's more than one personality. But most importantly, it is a safe think tank, if you will. And the reason why I use think tank is because counsel is about conversation. So if you have conversation, that means you have people that are thinking. And because you have people that are thinking, and in our case, we're all intellectual, but we have different parts of the intellect that we operate in, that means I'm going to have a deeper understanding about, I'll just use this for fun, tying my shoes. Now, I might tie my shoes one way, but today both of them are untied. But Marshall can give me another way of tying my shoes because his parents taught him how to tie his shoes different from me. Marvin has a different idea of tying his shoes because somebody showed him how to tie his shoes differently. So we have different aspects of counsel because there are a group of us. Now, this is where the scripture that says, how can two walk together lest they agree? Though it is two people, that is still a form of counsel, because you're walking together and you have to be in agreement to walk together. So it's important that if you do only have one person that you take counsel from, that they be, I'll say this, even though age is not always about counsel, one of you needs to be older than the other. The reason simply being is you've lived longer, so you have more life experience. Though there are anomalies, yes, it's not wise to be the same age, just because two 20-year-olds don't have enough life experience to come to a wise decision. Though they may be filled with the Holy Ghost and he gives all wisdom and all clarity and all revelation, they still don't have that lived experience of what they might be going through. So counsel is important because of life experience and trust.
Now, I'll ask you, how important is it for your counsel to be godly? And the reason why I'm asking that is because we live in a society where, as Christians, we like to mix and mingle. And in that mixing and mingling of friends, you start mixing and mingling their behavior. And to this degree, we're talking about pornography. You know, if you have ungodly counsel will always convince you that what God said is not what He meant. You know. So go ahead.
Going back to Elder Willis' point, counsel constructs countenance.
Yes.
And I'll give two biblical examples, and my last example will answer your question. Counsel constructs countenance. The Old Testament example I'll give is Saul and David. When David is in the palace playing the harp for Saul, his countenance was constructed based off of that. And so that lets me know that your counsel helps build your outlook.
Yeah.
Your counsel helps aid how you view the world, how you feel about the world, and what you think of it. The New Testament example I'll give, and it will answer your question, is Peter and the disciples.
Yeah.
Now, not the example everyone automatically goes to. The example I want to reference is Peter's pushback to Jesus' death. When Jesus tells Peter that he has to die, Peter tells him no.
Yeah.
And Jesus' pushback to Peter is, Satan, get thee behind me.
Yeah.
So that lets me know two things: that your counsel constructs your countenance, but it also lets me know that who was Peter taking counsel from?
Yes, sir.
Peter must have been talking to other disciples who didn't want Jesus to die as well.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
They just didn't say it.
Yes, sir. That's good.
So Peter's the only one with the enough courage, the enough confidence, the enough bravado to confront Jesus and be like, I don't want you to die. But he says, I don't want you to die. He really means we don't want you to die.
Yeah.
So we see in that aspect that the counsel he took from the other disciples affected how he counseled or took counsel with Jesus.
That's good, bro.
So that means that you can be. Oh, your mic going on and off. We'll just use the same one. Oh, sorry, it's blinking.
Well, yeah. If it's green, we fine.
Okay, cool. Okay, we hope. It's crazy that you said that though, because what that means is you can be godly and still give ungodly counsel.
Yeah.
Because Peter when he calls Peter Satan, it's not that Peter is a bad person. He's just operating. I'll take it a step further, in counsel from Satan.
Exactly.
And didn't even know he was operating in counsel from Satan, because, and this brings us right to pornography, counsel from Satan is always do what you want.
Yes, sir. No matter what.
And counsel from Satan is always do not die. because that's what Jesus taught. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Do not die. And when we're talking about pornography and we're talking about your counsel, you have to have a counsel that influences death to the things.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about suicide. I'm not talking about murder.
Yeah.
I want to be very clear. I'm talking about death to the things or behaviors, death to the behaviors that are not good for you. Because it's not the will of God for you to be entangled or trapped with, entrapped in something that you hold more dear than God. And that's a perfect example. No, okay, that's a perfect example of counsel. And the crazy thing, it was the counsel he picked. Jesus handpicked 12 disciples, and it was crazy that one man was the total counsel for 11.
Yeah.
Jesus was that one friend that everybody goes to, which is why he had to get away. And in his counsel, they were able to break certain habits. And I'll add this, and then if you want to add something, you can. I'll add this when you start talking about Jesus being Peter telling Jesus, trying to rebuke him, saying you won't die. I started thinking, this is why Peter still has a boat.
Peter always has a backup.
Peter always has a backup. Peter always, and Jesus was trying to break him from his boat. And until you have a friend, my God, who can break you from your boat, my God, you don't really have friends. And then talk about this. This is about to get so good. All friends aren't counsel. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. All friends aren't counsel. And you learn that at an early age. Because of influence. You know the friends that are going to influence you to do well.
Yeah.
And you know the friends that are going to influence you to do bad.
Yeah.
And even though you're young, a child 6 or 7, maybe a little bit older, 10 or 12, you know right from wrong at an early age.
Yeah.
And you know that Bobby might be doing some things in class that he's not supposed to. And you see that, but you still want to be his friend because you want to fit in. But when you get around Willie is an upstanding, quote unquote, citizen of the school. But you don't want to fit in with Willie because he's a nerd.
Yeah.
But secretly, you're a nerd as well.
Yeah.
So all friends aren't good friends because of the environment they come from. All friends aren't good friends because of the environment they come from. One more. All friends aren't good friends because of the environment they come from.
My God.
I was having a conversation the other day, and I was telling a few people that when God is elevating you, everybody can't go.
Yeah.
And that's partly because of the environment they come from, but also their decision to obey him or not. And I painted the picture of, you might have those 1 or 2 friends that really love the Lord, that obey him, that hold you accountable, that you trust, and you love them and they love you. But the Lord might tell you, okay, they're great people for you. They've done well by you. You've done well by them. But for where I'm taking you, they can't go. And that's painful because we've built bonds together. Now, in my eyes, I would say, well, Lord, like, this is what I prayed for, and then some. Why can't they go with me? And his answer is because I said so.
Yeah.
Now, even though they're great for you on that level, they're still friends that are good friends. That doesn't mean you have to cut them off. That just means you can't go to where I'm going.
Yeah.
So their environment may not be conducive for the environment God is about to put you in. So even though they're good people, the environments don't match. And then you have the clashing of spirits. Now, I don't want to go too deep, but because of a spirit that invades an environment, like because we are talking about porn, that spirit is going to invade the pure environment at all costs. So you can be babysitting somebody's child and doing your job perfectly, but because you watch porn the night before, when you take off their diaper, you get a flashback.
Oh, we'll get there now.
So your your dirty environment of porn is invading your pure environment of babysitting. Thus, we get molestation. So you have to be careful of what spirits you are allowing to enter your environment.
Environment. My God.
Now, this is where I can't remember the scripture, so y'all help me.
Okay.
This is where we find out that Jesus becomes our friend because of the environment that he comes from. I can't remember how it's quoted or what is worded, but he's our counsel. He is our elder brother.
Yeah.
He is our
Wonderful.
yes,
Yeah.
our Prince of Peace.
Yeah.
All of those things equate to a friendly environment.
Yeah.
A wonderful counselor means he's going to bring good, even though it might hurt, he's going to bring the good truth to you. Not the good news, the good truth.
Whoa. Wait a minute.
Because Jesus is the wonderful counselor, he's going to bring the good truth, though it may hurt. Not the good news, the good truth. So he's our Prince of Peace. So with that good truth comes a peace that, okay, I was wrong in this situation. I'm going to adhere to what the Lord is saying. Now I need to cut this off so I can live in this peaceful and pure environment. And so on and so forth. But to answer your question directly, which I know I have in like 5 different ways, all friends aren't good friends because of the decisions they make. At its simplest form, all friends are good friends because of the decisions they make.
And he said not taking it. You also can't take their behavior. What it reminds me of is Ghost in a show called Power.
Yeah.
That man spent his
whole life,
the whole latter half of his life, trying to get out.
Yep.
And he was surrounded by he would never just leave because he had created fruit. Now you want me to go there in that environment.
Yeah.
He had created children in that environment. He had gotten married in that environment. And by the time he realized that there was better, that he didn't want to have to do this. And this is crazy. I was watching a documentary about drug lords, and one of the people who had got arrested said this. He said, "You get to a point where you get older and you don't want that life anymore. You want to go legitimate." And the crazy thing is, I said, Lord, why is it like that? And he said, because to your point, most people's environments,
and they get tired.
But most people environments make them waste their youth.
Yes, absolutely.
It makes them waste their youth. And so you're around a bunch of people who are making you waste your youth. Watch this. But you're also, in our generation, you might be around a whole bunch of people that make you waste your seed. Because or for my ladies, you don't have seed, but the water in your ground. Yeah, I never heard that before, have you? The water in your ground. You know, like it's seed and water coming together. That's all. What's the medical word for it? Intercourse, but when you
ejaculate?
No.
Procreate?
No.
Are you talking about the germinating of
when you come, the word for that?
Ejaculation.
No, but when you're having sex together.
An orgasm?
That all an orgasm is I didn't want to say. I was trying to go somewhere. All an orgasm is seed and water coming together to produce fruit. Jesus Christ, that's good. One more time. All an orgasm is seed from the man and water from the woman coming together to make fruit. And so Ghost realized that wasn't his wife.
Yep.
But by the time he realized that wasn't his wife, Tasha wasn't it. Then he has and now we have Power Book 2. His son, he said, you didn't grow up this way. You didn't you didn't and so his prep school son now has his own show, still trying to be daddy. Oh, and daddy's dead. Maybe, but I ain't giving up hope on you, 50. Maybe Ghost is dead, but the point is the environment, the council.
What's his name? Said you grew up in a gated community.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought about too. That's exactly what I thought about.
But some of you who are saved and you're still watching porn, the Lord is saying you grew up in the gated community. What are you doing? Come here, Job. You grew up with the hedge. The only person that has permission to move the hedge is God. And so you really didn't move the hedge. Now you got to come outside of the hedge, to your point, to get with people who aren't good for you. And most of the time that starts in high school and spreads abroad, because your high school friends, that's why he had me watch that play. There was a play that I was watching when I was sick, because the Lord just had me watch I just watch documentaries and plays on YouTube. And I was sick and I was watching this play, and this woman was like, this man is getting ready to get married. And his wife was like, you still keep the same friends. So-and-so's 35 and he's still trying to be a rapper. Nothing wrong with that, but he hasn't made any strides.
My God.
He hasn't put out any music. He's still in the club. Watch this. This is what she said. He's around the right people but won't do the right things. And you're hanging around him. Because you're trying to carry them, to your point, along. And trying to carry the wrong people is why you still watch porn. Hey, we're here. You got something?
You got it.
Why you? I want to make sure I'm taking turns. Why?
ISO.
Right. Oh my God.
Real life, my God.
Oh, I cannot wait to watch this episode for that right there. But
my Lord.
But I promise I saw his AI in Jordan. But your environment is the reason why you watch porn. It was counsel that got me addicted to it. I'm sorry, let me say it this way. It was counsel that got me back addicted to it. A couple episodes ago, I had totally beaten pornography. I hadn't watched it in a long time. I'm at the park hooping with my friends after high school, after senior year. We just graduated. We're hooping. Hadn't watched porn in a long time. We get on the subject of sex. I'm not having sex. I'm really trying to get my life right. Marsha, you need to watch porn. They're all watching it after we hoop. Marsha, just look at it. I said, no. But you put it in my face. No. But the image was there. Now I'm watching it again. Not now, but I'm saying now in that area. Now I'm watching it again. Because that image, I thought, but it's really the counsel. Watch this. I'm watching an image to keep up an image for the wrong counsel. One more time. I'm watching an image to keep up an image for the wrong counsel. I'm watching an image, porn, to keep up an image, fake persona, for the wrong counsel, wrong people. Are you
Jesus.
watching an image, porn, to keep up an image, fake person, for the wrong counsel, for people you end up arguing with, for people I don't even talk to anymore? For there's nothing worse than, we always talk about this with dating, but you talk about this with friendship too. As you get older, why was I hanging with them?
Yep. Facts.
Like, why? What was so infatuating about these people that I felt like I needed to hang with them to be cool, that I felt like I needed to do what they do to be cool? Let's bring it to adulthood. What is so infectious about these people that I had to give up my standards for the lifestyle of a blue collar? What is it, blue collar or white collar?
Depends on what you're talking about.
Rich people.
Rich people is white collar.
White collar. Why do I have to give up my identity to be, watch this, to participate in the behavior of the white collar when I'm already making the money that comes from it?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to take on poor behavior with good success. Yes, Lord, I'm gonna say that one more time. Beautiful. You don't have to take on poor behavior with good success. So you're addicted to porn and you're having all this, and that wasn't even you. You were born in a gated community. Marshall was born. Marshall, you were saying scriptures. You were in your room preaching to toys. You were excited to go to church. To this day, if I don't get to go to church, it pisses me off. I don't like watching church online. I like to be in the building. Nothing against you if you watch church online. I'm just talking about me. I'm talking about me. Yeah. But that's always been me. I've always been in love with Jesus. I've always wanted to do what God wanted me to do. And it wasn't until you got around the wrong counsel that counsel begin to be your potter. Because good counsel knows we're all clay. So we just point you to the potter. One more time. Yes. Good counsel knows that we're all clay. We just let the potter be the potter.
Yeah. My God.
Don't let your counsel be your potter. Your counsel's supposed to point you to the potter.
Yes, sir.
Oh, because when clay tries to shape clay, it just mixes. Ooh. Oh, God, that's so good.
Yes, sir.
And we all want that. Yep. When clay tries to potter clay, it just mixes. Because it's clay. Mm-hmm. So how did you get here? Who did you mix with?
The blind leading the blind.
It's the blind leading the blind, which is why the Lord will tell them to not be, yes, Lord, to not mix and mingle with other tribes, with other nations, because you're mixing clay. You're clay mixing. When the children of Israel said, "Give us a king," they were clay mixing. God said, "Wait a minute, you want me to give you clay when you have a potter?" My God.
Now you also need to. I want to tag on to what you said, because you have to make the specification. He said, "Don't mix and mingle with other tribes and nations," because they were pagans.
Yeah.
It was about the religious practices that they were doing, not because of the color of their skin.
Yeah.
God has always been for interracial relationships. He didn't want them to mix because of religious practices. What does that mean? They were worshiping other gods, which is why he would tell the children of Israel, "Have no other God before me. I am a jealous God." And when we see David take the Ark of the Covenant to Obed-Edom's house because Uzzah tried to touch the Ark and it failed, they put that did it go to Obed-Edom's house first, or where did it go first?
It went to Obed-Edom's house. I think you're referring to when the Philistines.
Yes, took the Ark of the Covenant. Yeah, Dagon. Yes, yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about, which was after Obed-Edom's house. Because Obed-Edom's house got blessed for 3 months. Yeah. Then David went back to go get it. But anyway, have no other gods before me because of the religious practices. That's why God said, don't mix with other nations and other tribes who do not worship me.
And as I come here, the Lord said to end it with this. I want to end it with this statement. Watch this. I told you I was watching an image to keep up an image for the wrong counsel.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that one more time. I was watching an image to keep up an image. So I was watching an image, porn, to keep up an image, fake persona, for the wrong counsel, which is the wrong people. Okay? The only thing that goes up is crosses, not images.
That's so good.
Something has to die.
Mm-hmm.
Something has to die. And the last point, God tests the counsel on the cross.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
God tests the counsel on the cross. One person is going to say to you, get us down.
Mm-hmm.
The other person is going to say to you, when you get into your kingdom,
Take me with you.
take me with you, because counsel talks about kingdom.
My God.
Counsel talks about kingdom on the cross. Jesus. My God. Counsel talks about kingdom on the cross. So I know where you're going. That's what he was telling Jesus on the cross.
I know where you're going.
I know where you're going. And good counsel is on crosses saying, I know where you're going. I know where you're going. And when you go there, don't take me. Remember me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he sure did say remember. Yeah.
Not take me.
Yeah.
Remember me.
Yeah.
And Jesus said, because you know where I'm going, you have to know who I am.
Yes, sir.
So I can take you because you only want to be a memory.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. So your counsel is important. Okay. This has been Tips for the Christian Podcast. I am your humble host, Marshall Ray Lewis III. This is Minister Marvin Lee Stevenson Jr. This is Elder James Ray Lewis III. We want you to follow God, get the right counsel, die out to yourself, and God be with you. God is for you. Until we meet again. Shalom.